Hello, beautiful people. I hope each and every one of you have been having a lovely 2023 in so much as one can enjoy this decade. It's been a minute, hasn't it? There's a whole multitude of reasons why that is, but I thought I'd preface that I am indeed still alive, and we need to have ourselves a little tete-a-tete, shall we? Before I dive into everything, I just want to thank you for watching this video. As of writing this, I have no idea how long this update's going to be, but I appreciate you sticking with it. There is audience involvement to be had. To answer the questions you see here is likely going to take some time because I'm a rambler. I've always been a rambler. Some of you know this. But there's really no other way to start off than by saying that burnout is real. Now, I cannot say for certain whether or not it's from YouTube directly. I enjoy having an online presence. I enjoy interacting with you guys when I stream and when I'm reading your comments on my narrations. Hell, some of my dramatic readings are still getting love to this day. I mean, look at this. Letter In. I mean, yeah, this remains one of the productions I'm most proud of in the history of my channel, but damn. Thank you. I may not be able to respond to all your comments, but I do my best to read every single one. Among them, some tend to stick out over others, so let's address that elephant in the room, shall we? Silent Ponyville 4 is over. I know hearing that is going to upset a number of you, and I'm sorry if it does. The fact of the matter is, after taking a much-needed hiatus to attend some major life-changing situations, I eventually went to check in on the story progress, only to find that the author themselves had cancelled the story before its completion. So, out of respect not just for them, but all of my listeners as well, it honestly did not make sense to continue a story that would not have a conclusion. It's a lose-lose situation. So, if that results in you hitting the unsubscribe button, well, know that I completely understand and I respect your decision. My only ask is that you also respect my decision as well as that of the authors. So that said, if you're done here, I'll give you a few moments to depart and see yourselves to the door. Alright, sounds like all the losers left. Let's get on with the meat of the video.
That's right, keep moving! You know what? Yeah. Except you stay.
I'll be a real one. After a full day of work, coming home, making dinner, and cleaning up, that just leaves a few hours available before going to bed and doing it all again. Don't pretend like you don't get it. Lots of that free time comes in the form of gaming video games, Pathfinder D&D, and tending to house matters. Now, I probably know what you're thinking. D&D, how hard is it to show up and play a tabletop game once a week, Cootie? Wrong question. Some of you may have noticed that even though I'm vaguely active on my own channel, I am certainly active on another. Wooten live streams our Pathfinder sessions over on his channel. And here's the rub. We have two primary campaigns happening simultaneously. We have Pirates of the Red Isles with Wooten as the Game Master, and Keonan Legacies, a story of my own design and game mastering. Both campaigns are on a playing rotation each week, so Pirates one week, Keonan the next, and so forth. Planning campaign sessions takes loads of time, research, writing, map building, lore creation, more writing, character design, music mixing, and dare I mention, writing. So you could say that I have indeed been making YouTube content after a fashion, D&D content for our tabletop group. If you're familiar with my productions, many of you are, then you can imagine how much time I put into tabletop prep. It's the same way. No half measures, Walter. We stream every Sunday at noon Central Time if you're ever interested in tuning in. All of our stories, past, present, and future tales to come, all exist in the same universe. Our world is a collective, ongoing building experience that we've been growing together since 2016. Get a bunch of storytellers and narrators together, and what else could you honestly expect, you know? I'll touch on this again in a bit, as it'll be relevant to a later part of the video, but I should mention this isn't the only tabletop prep I've been doing. back in 2020 lockdown days, I had this idea for a short campaign, maybe about 4 or 5 sessions long, something short and sweet to pass the time. My players, however, created characters they adored and developed such deep, intricate backstories for. Thus, I expanded the story, tied in character lore with world lore, and it accidentally became one of the greatest stories I've ever concocted. As a result, it's kind of still going, though to be fair, this particular game is very close to its conclusion. So yes, on top of all of this, I'm a GM for not 1, but 2 tabletop games, time-consuming, but also inspiring for video ideas. More on that later. On another note, remember this bitch? Well, she moved in, and we live together now. Why would she make such a grievous error in judgment? How has she not killed me over my snoring, screaming, and femboy addiction? Who knows? We're both working, and our schedules were in complete conflict for a while. I work a day job, she worked a night shift, so we'd try and schedule a small window of time once a week to spend a little time together. We've also been working on touching up the house, making improvements, having renovations done, starting our life together. It's been nice and cozy, honestly. We like it. In our downtime outside of all that and playing Pathfinder, we play a lot of Final Fantasy XIV. For my part, lots of raiding. I recently cleared the Unending Coil Ultimate raid, and currently working on the Epic of Alexander Ultimate. Meanwhile, she's been doing the real content. And yeah, I'll use that as a segue. So yeah, pretty busy life, huh? It's not even including playing in band over the summer. When it comes to the channel, I have been brainstorming a whole swath of ideas for uploads. I want to dip a bit more into gaming content here and there, but I also do not wish to stray too far from my narration roots. Now, with this declaration, you may ponder, what happens to MLP content? Would there still be fic readings of that persuasion to come? And all I can say is, maybe. Just because Silent Ponyville 4 ended doesn't mean that all needs to end as well. On the other hand, enough time has passed that I still feel a desire to branch into other things. You'll notice I've done some ASMR style content, which is honestly something I've been itching to get more into. But to that end, I want to hear from you guys. I definitely want to do more of it, but how deep into it should I go? How saucy or dark or twisted and weird you guys want to hear, as scripts within the ASMR community can get a little outlandish sometimes. You know, what with how much praise I've gotten from my Voron performance in Vampilance, I could certainly don the seductive and vile vampire mantle for your listening pleasure, albeit far less cruel, I would imagine. It's definitely a genre I've been wanting to get more into, so I'm willing to listen to some suggestions. You know me. If there's anything I love, it's providing dulcet tones to my listeners, no matter the content. Though, in addition, there's some silly, more shitposty content I've been wanting to experiment with as well. I don't want to give too much away because I want some of what I have lined up in this particular topic to be a surprise, but do any of you remember that one video Scribbler made of something I recorded some years back?
And your name will be in the blacklist. Though you are deferent, but I didn't know you are deferent like this. Out from this channel. Bye.
Keep an eye out for something like this pretty soon to pick up what I'm throwing down. Though back on topic of narration and storytelling, let's pick up that bookmark of the vast, expansive world we've built in our Pathfinder group. Since its inception in 2016, we've grown cities into a country with neighboring nations. Today, it's come so far that Algerian has become its own world, filled with characters who have inscribed their marks in history and affected the world at large. Geopolitics and intercontinental relations, tribes and factions vying for greatness, some lusting for power, others just to survive. Our world of Algerian has so many stories to tell, and I've been itching to host an outlet for some of these short narratives and little bits of lore that tie into our campaigns. Even if we don't go deep into it, I could even make videos just talking deep in D&D and tabletop, giving advice, teaching basics, presenting story ideas, reading the tabletop tales of others from Reddit posts and the like. Is this something you'd like to hear? I'd love to know your thoughts. And here we arrive at the gaming content. I imagine I have something up playing for this video while I talk, probably running something in FF14. There's so much I would love to do, but I feel like most gaming-related content I would upload to my channel may come in the form of live streams. Some of you may recall that Toxlock I was doing over on Twitch a while ago. That was probably like, oh man, like over a year ago at this point, I think. I never did finish that, so I may migrate it over to the YouTube channel, or hell, maybe just start from scratch. But that's not all. I've been wanting to finally get to streaming a Soul Link Nuzlocke with my friend Itzel Panda for a while now. There are things I've been wanting to do in Final Fantasy XIV as well. I've been wanting to get more into like deep dungeons, maybe stream a slow progression to doing a solo run of Palace of the Dead so y'all can chill out and watch me suffer. We can all just hang out and be a fun time. For you. Probably less for me. But no, I'd have fun. I think anytime I interact with you guys would be a fun time. I personally feel the way I've handled this sort of content in the past, most gaming content from me might be better coming in the form of a live stream. Though, again, I'd love to know your thoughts on that. Ideally, if I did game-related streams, I'd aim for those to be on like Friday, Saturday nights, maybe once or twice a month. It's kind of what I did with the Majora's Mask playthrough several years ago. I figure that way in the event that any projects or uploads get held up, I'm still out here doing something and interacting with y'all, you know? One thing I do know is that if I did anything pre-recorded, I'd likely need to bring in an editor to spice things up a bit. Not that I couldn't myself, it's more like if I wanted to bring you guys consistent and quality stuff to enjoy, I'd likely want to leave it in the hands of someone capable and has the time to dedicate more towards spicing those videos up. Hard to say, though it's certainly an idea I've been tossing around. I do want to try and branch out into new content, but still retain narration aspects of what got me started on the platform. My main thing is this. I don't want my absence to be an indicator of a drop in quality. In fact, I'd say that's the whole reason why I haven't uploaded in a while. Simply put, if I scramble to throw some content together for the sake of output, that's kind of insulting to my viewers, from my point of view. I know what I'm about, I know the quality standard I'm good for and can produce for you lovely people, and you shouldn't expect anything less from me. Ultimately, you'll likely see a bit of a potpourri of content coming out in the not-so-distant future. I feel like I'm channeling some Philip Franco with how much I'm asking so much, but still, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments. For this absence I've been on all this time, it's always been at the back of my mind, this want to make content, the desire to interact with my viewers. Most of them. And most of all, doing something I've grown to love, even if it's something on the side of a busy life. I should also mention that outside of a couple of streams, as well as some voice work you'll see soon on her channel, I've been chatting with Lost Narrator, and we've been road mapping a collaborative something in the future, so you guys may want to stick around for that. Probably something we'll be cooking up starting early next year, I would imagine. But that's about all I have for today. If you've made it this far listening to me ramble, thank you. Really. I'm happy that there are those of you out there who'd be interested in seeing a sort of reigniting of this channel. Though, for the time being, we'll just have to see where things go. Thanks for watching. Ciao for now, lovelies.